The great news is that pride is dying. Pride, which goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall. Pride is much weaker this year than it has been in Pride months prior. However, it's not dead yet. It's still around. There's still companies and teams and all sorts of people posting their pride. Mr. Davies, give me the roundup. Nah, that's the worst one. You started with the worst one. I would get it if it were soccer or like the WNBA, but baseball, all of baseball's LGBT. How many LGBT fans watch baseball? Baseball is the most conservative sport. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know what's funny? You would expect them to use all sorts of different colored string, but because a baseball is stitched up by one string, if they actually did that, you would realize that baseball is about unity, not diversity, and not all the weird sex stuff. So they had to just find a string that artificially had all these different colors in it. That's funny. When everyone can be who they are, then it'll all be great. Unless they're a man who thinks he's a woman, in which case they shouldn't be who they are. They should pretend to be someone else. Okay. The Seattle Mariners. Okay. At first, I was afraid it was just going to be an MLB ad generally. All right. The Seattle Mariners are gay. That's fine by me, because I'm a lifelong Yankee fan, so it doesn't bother me at all. Next one. Football is gay. Lesbian? Okay. Do they mean like football, or do they talk about like real American football? This is NFL, huh? I don't think football is gay, but I don't like football. It's not my sport. I only like one sport, and it's baseball.
Like it's throwing heat. Heat, Schmidt.
Which is a little bit gay, apparently, too. But football, okay, football. Look, football already disrespects the American flag and promotes black power Marxist organizations. And so whatever. Being gay is like the 8th problem that the NFL has right now. Next one. Oh, this is bad. On our street, everyone is welcome. That's more of like a Mickey Mouse. I can't really do a good Sesame Street. I haven't watched it in about 32 years. On our street, everyone's welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person and family feels loved and respected for who they are. Happy Pride Month, and it's a gay thing. So in case you haven't processed this, a publicly funded children's puppet show is promoting extremely weird, deviant, aberrant sex stuff to an audience of primarily 2 to 5-year-olds on your taxpayer dime. Do you want your taxes going to puppets trying to turn your kids like gay and trans? I don't want that. We need to defund Big Bird. That's what we need to do.
Can you try reading it in like a Cookie Monster voice?
I can try that.
On our street, everyone is welcome. Together, let's build a world where every person and family is loved and respected for who they are, and where all you little
kids are gay. Gay, be gay, gay, gay. Is that how Cookie Monster sounds? I hope not. Yeah, I know. That's why they never cast me as Cookie Monster. No, come on. Come on. I knew that was coming because I already saw it. Like on Twitter, I already saw it days ago. But they did it. Now, look, they didn't change their profile picture. They moved on immediately to like Lou Gehrig Commemoration Day. So they didn't have gay stuff on their uniforms. They just put the number 4 in their uniform. But the Seattle Mariners are gay. That's fine by me because I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. So it doesn't bother me at all. Next one. George Steinbrenner is rolling in his grave over this, okay?
I don't really know what the hell's going on here.
George would never have let this happen. He never would have let players have beards, and he never would have let the team go gay. You can delete the post. You should delete the post. iPhone. Shitoni iPhone. Shitoni phone. Notice how much Apple is hedging its bets here. They don't post any rainbows. They don't post any dudes or ladies doing weird stuff. It's very subtle. They mostly just post Indians looking kind of Indian. And then it's just very black and white, celebrating pride, shot on iPhone. They know Apple is a smart corporation and they know that pride is not cool anymore. They just say they do the perfunctory, yeah, do you guys still like pride? Okay, we do a sort of pride thing, but no. That's the straightest pride ad I've ever seen. Next one. Hold on, we're gonna pause right there before we get to my very, very important point, because you should go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles. History, economics, classical literature, constitutional interpretation. Did your education cover these foundations? Perhaps not. Or maybe you're just due for a refresher. While our world constantly evolves through time and technology, certain fundamental truths about humanity and our place in the universe remain unchanged. That is why I am excited that Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses in the most important and enduring subjects. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of the U.S. Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history of the ancient church with Hillsdale College's free online courses. Personally, I would strongly recommend Hillsdale's course on Dante's Divine Comedy. In this free 10-lecture online course, you will encounter one of the greatest works of Western civilization, an epic poem in 3 parts that presents universal truth about character and choice, the nature of God and man, the path to freedom and happiness. Hillsdale makes it so simple to increase knowledge and curiosity. The course is self-paced, so you can start whenever and wherever. Right now, go to hillsdale.edu/Knowles, K-N-W-L-E-S. It's free. It's easy to get started. Hillsdale.edu/Knowles, hillsdale.edu/Knowles. That's like the opposite of the Apple ad. That is a pretty overtly, grossly sexual ad. I don't like the movement. I don't like the implication. What company was that? It's a headphone company. Okay, well, no need to buy that. The World Health Organization. Oh, no. Come on, man. Let's just take the trans thing. If you engage in the trans ideology, you are much, much more likely to, especially if you have the procedures, you're much, much more likely to have bone problems, to have early death, to have anxiety, depression, to be suicidal. You are much, much more likely, dramatically more likely, to have all sorts of serious health problems. And everyone has known that since at least the 80s. And you got the World Health Organization. Love is healthy. Love is healthy. LGBT LMNOP stuff is not healthy. Whatever you want to say. You can even say, I like the LGBT stuff, or I support it anyway. You certainly can't say it's healthy. I'm very glad Trump voted to pull our funding from the World Health Organization. It's like the anti-obesity campaign promoting, jars of Crisco and tubs of Big Macs. Totally ridiculous. Nashville Predators. Happy Pride Month. Well, that actually makes sense. Not because of the Nashville or because of the team, but because the biggest LGBT ideologues and pride activists are definitely predators. So that's what we call brand synergy. That kind of works. So I'm very sorry for the team's fans. Canada, yeah, okay. Whatever this Canadian thing is, definitely makes sense that it would promote pride.
It was a bit of a range of emotions this morning coming here and getting dressed for this flight. We are doing the first ever, now let me get that one straight because a few letters have been added to this one, 2S LGBTQ IA+ flight ever in Canada. I do identify with the progress flag. There's something in there that represents me as well. So it was a bit of joy having the opportunity to do this flight today.
D'ailleurs, on aimerait vous souligner ce moment marquant de l'histoire canadienne.
And want to celebrate not just our community, but our freedom to be who we are, both at work and in society. Shante, you all stay.
Air Canada wants to show that they value everyone equally, which is why only gays are allowed on this flight. we value everyone equally, but if you are sexually normal, you're not allowed on. We hate you. You're excluded. Is that legal? Can they legally do that? Not that I would be the most eager to be on the flight, but we value everyone. We include everyone. Unless you do like normal stuff, in which case, get out. Get out of here. That's not this kind of airplane, okay? We don't take to your kind around here. If you're not a member of the 2SQ LGBT LMNOP plus community, we don't want you on our airplane. Enchanté. Je ne suis pas enchanté. Au revoir. Okay.
I'm not buying any of this stuff, but I was curious as to what Target was going to do for their Pride line this year, given that they've rolled back so much of their DEI and have lost literally millions of dollars in sales on account of that decision. And boy, howdy, was I surprised to see what they're offering this year. Kicking it off in their home decor, they have a series of these birds that my sister used to collect, and they have a bunch of like drag queeny birds. There's like a Marie Antoinette bird, which is sort of interesting. And then there's this here. Perhaps the most homophobic of them all. Mini bird figurines, Gal and Pal. And they do come with the optional upgrade of purchasing the U-Haul moving van. Just Gal and her pal and their U-Haul. You're not going to find anything in stores that says queer or gay on it. It will say authentic or proud. Anything that says gay or queer on it seems to be for online only. You don't get to make jokes about us when you're not laughing with us.
Yes, you do. Right? I mean, don't look. You know what I say about Target? That's a good start. I'm glad they're not like actively trying to propagandize the kids into weird sex stuff, but it's only a good start. I don't want any of that stuff in Target. Target's a big company, and it is part of the broader public square, and I don't want any of that weird stuff in Target. I don't want any of it. The dolls can maybe stay because they're kind of funny, but the other stuff, the rainbow stuff and the authentic and the proud, and I don't want that. I don't want even that.
My heart goes out to you.
Good start. Clearly, look, the momentum has moved against the pride, which is good because of how pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay, what was my favorite one? That's the one. That was my favorite. You saved the best for last. Things are moving in the right direction. Also, I kind of want the Gal and Pal dolls with the U-Haul. It's funny. It's kind of funny. See you next time. Gal and Pal.